working for us because we can go where we want to. Unlike yesterday that we are under people. It's working for us because there are many challenges that we can able to solve.
I don't think there is democracy in Nigeria because this is tyrant government. Yeah, if we are to be realistic about ourselves, there is nothing working in Nigeria, and Nigeria is really upset. Everything is turning upside down in Nigeria, so there is no democracy in Nigeria.
Political analyst James Ezema says one of the major milestones is the successful transition from military rule to sustained civilian government despite challenges in governance and accountability.
Well, we have achieved a civilian rule whereby we have successfully removed the military out of governance, even though from time to time, like we saw in Rivers State, we go and bring them. And that is also what happened sometimes ago when under the Obasanjo regime, that we had some state governors also removed, and some military or former military leaders were brought to govern some of those states. And that is what we are talking about, whether truly we are practicing a democracy.
This year's theme, ensuring effective governance of artificial intelligence at all levels, draws attention to how technology, particularly artificial intelligence, can shape democratic practices, governance, structures, and civic participation in the years ahead.
This year's focus on International Democracy Day highlights the growing importance of artificial intelligence in shaping democratic processes and governance worldwide. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
Zahra Nasser, thank you so very much. The Association of Resident Doctors under the Federal Capital Territory Administration has begun an indefinite strike. This was disclosed in a communique issued by resident doctors sent by its president, Dr. George Ebong, and General Secretary, Dr. Agbo Afiong. The doctors had embarked on a 7-day warning strike last Monday to press home its demands following months of unresolved negotiations with the administration. President Bola Tinubu has urged religious leaders in Nigeria to continue championing interfaith harmony, denouncing violence, and fostering reconciliation in conflict-ridden communities. Speaking in Ikotekpene, Akwa Ibom State, at the opening of the second plenary meeting of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, Tinubu, represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, emphasized the crucial role of faith leaders in shaping values and building trust among citizens. The president commended Catholic bishops and clerics from other denominations for their consistent efforts at promoting dialogue and tolerance despite the country's cultural and religious diversity. In a related development, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has urged Nigerians to be patient with the administration of President Bola Tinubu, assuring that the reforms initiated by the government will soon bear fruits of economic prosperity. Akpabio made the call in his opening address as the chairman of the second plenary meeting of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria at Ikotekpene in Akwa Ibom State. A statement by Special Assistant on Media and Communication, Anietie Ekong, says Senator Akpabio urged citizens never to be despaired by the current situation that Nigeria is going through, but look forward to a brighter future. In a different development, President Bola Tinubu has flagged off the second phase of the Makurdi 9th Mile Dualization Project, a $950 million highway expected to boost trade, agriculture, and connectivity between the north, central, and southeast regions. Global TV correspondent Felicity Indere has more.
The city of Makurdi came alive as Governor Hyacinth Alia, on behalf of President Tinubu, unveiled the second phase of the Makurdi 9th Mile Dualization Project, a 260-kilometer stretch translating into 520 kilometers of dual carriage.
But I'm happy that today the governor of Benue State will flag off this very important flyover.
With a financing value of $950 million from China Exim Bank, Governor Hyacinth Alia described the project as a game changer, stressing its potential to boost agriculture, commerce, and regional integration.
Our farmers are now getting into different frames of farming, including vegetables, which by the advent of this road, they'll be able to harvest in the morning, get over to Abuja to do their fresh farm sales. And it's one of the great economic experience we're going to have.
The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, says the project stands as one of the most ambitious legacy road projects under the Tinubu's administration.
This flyover was never in the budget, but it's a gift of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Governor. And I'm happy with, Wang, because I was coming to make a fight. The governor requested for this, he has paid compensation, so why wouldn't we do it?
The contractors, China Harbour Construction Company, assured timely delivery, provided compensation, and land acquisition challenges are addressed.
And our strategy is to do the work simultaneously. Every section we do the work together so we can do it efficiently. And I want to give my assurance, we want to work it very fast.
Governor Alia later joined the Works Minister, Senator Dave Umahi, to inspect other federal projects in Makurdi, including the Makurdi-Boko Road and the high-level underpass. Upon completion, the Makurdi 9-mile dualization is expected to open up Benue's agricultural hub, enhance regional trade, and ease travel across economic corridors linking the North Central to the Southeast and beyond. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global TV News.
Appreciate you so very much, Felicity Ndere, for following those developments in Benue State for us. The Committee of Pro-Chancellors of State-Owned Universities has called on the federal government to take urgent steps to avert another strike in the nation's university system following the lingering dispute with the Academic Staff Union of Universities. In a communique issued at the end of his 69th meeting in Abuja and signed by its acting chairman, Professor Ayodeji Omole, the pro-chancellors warned that Nigerian universities cannot withstand a fresh cycle of industrial action. The committee recently staged nationwide protests to press home its long-standing demand for the implementation of the renegotiated 2009 agreement between the federal government and Academic Staff Union of Universities. Nigeria and Angola have formalized a renewed bilateral relationship with the signing of 2 agreements aimed at combating illicit drug activities and strengthening cultural cooperation. The Special Assistant on Communication and New Media to Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Magnus Eze, stated this after the just concluded 5th session of the Nigeria-Angola Bilateral Economic Joint Commission held in Luanda, in Angola. Office of the Head of the Civil Service has begun the process of appointing 5 permanent secretaries following the approval of President Bola Tinubu. Head of Civil Service, Didi Watson, in a statement, has said that the Director of Information and Public Relations, Eno Olotu, that the process to appoint new permanent secretaries to ensure transparency, credibility, and merits in line with the government's commitment to good governance has begun. Watson Jack said only qualified officers on grade level 17 who have spent at least 2 years on the grade and have been cleared by their permanent secretaries as not facing disciplinary action are eligible. Let's turn to other stories for you. The federal government has firmly rejected claims that Nigeria's foreign policy is hypocritical, asserting that its diplomatic stance is rooted in strategic autonomy and pragmatic national interest, rather than ideological alignment or double standards. Speaking at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar addressed rising criticisms of the country's approach to international relations. Ambassador Tugar emphasized that Nigeria's foreign policy is neither insincere nor contradictory, but rather a realistic response to a rapidly shifting global order. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has outlined a series of landmark achievements recorded under the administration of President Bola Tinubu, describing the 2025 Hajj exercise as a turning point for Nigerian pilgrims. A briefing delivered by Chairman of the Commission, Professor Abdullahi Usman, stated that NACON affirmed that despite economic headwinds and logistical challenges, Nigeria's Hajj operations have been redefined in line with the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration. Usman noted that Nigerian pilgrims and the Commission have received unprecedented support under the present administration, leading to a record-breaking success that has restored confidence in the system and reaffirmed the nation's commitment to transparency and efficiency. Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecast thunderstorms and rainfall across the country from Monday to Wednesday. A weather outlook released by the agency predicted isolated thunderstorms with moderate rains on Monday morning over Kaduna, Gombe, Bauchi, Kebbi, Adamawa, and Taraba states. In the afternoon and evening, isolated thunderstorms with moderate rain are expected across the northern region. Flash floods likely in Adamawa, Taraba, and Gombe states. In a major step toward bridging Lagos State's healthcare gap, the Lagos State's University Teaching Hospital has unveiled 2 new operating theaters and an 11-bed intensive care unit under the public-private partnership with the ambulance company. In a statement, the Chief Medical Director of the Teaching Hospital, Professor Adetokunbo Fabonwo, describes the commissioning as a celebration of a very stable partnership aimed at tackling 2 long-standing challenges: the backlog of elective surgical cases and the shortage of critical care beds. Fabonwo also highlighted the impact of the new intensive care unit facility on emergency care in the state. This is Global Television, and you're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agmofwegwe. When the rest of the broadcast returns, federal government reaffirms commitment to providing reliable electricity to rural communities. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories for you. On the other side of this break, please do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to providing reliable electricity to rural communities as part of efforts to expand access, create jobs, and drive economic growth through renewable energy. Managing Director of Rural Electrification Agency, Abba Abubakar Aliyu, said in Maiduguri that the agency, under its Energizing Education Program, has commenced the training of 1,500 young Nigerians on renewable energy technologies, with 100 students of the University of Maiduguri forming the first batch of beneficiaries. Aliyu also noted that the program, which aligns with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, targets unserved and underserved communities to improve livelihoods and reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Nigeria's headline inflation slowed for the 5th consecutive month in August this year, providing some respite for consumers grappling with high living costs. Data released by the National Bureau of Statistics today show that inflation dropped to 20.12%, down from 21.88% in July. The figure represents a 1.76 percentage point decline on a month-on-month basis and a sharp fall from the 32.15% recorded in August last year. Consumer Price Index, which tracks the average change in prices of goods and services, inched up to 126.8 points in August from 125.9 points in July. Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Power Generation Companies, Joy Ogaji, has kicked against threats to disconnect generation companies from the national grid, warning that unstable transmission and market failures are damaging their plants and deepening losses. The power generation companies also demanded regulations mandating the immediate payment of their revenue by off-takers. This is coming after threats by the federal government-owned Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission that the generation companies who fail to install the free governor control would be power generation companies from the grid. Dangote Petroleum Refinery says starting today it will roll out over 1,000 compressed natural gas power trucks to begin the first phase of its direct fuel distribution scheme, as the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has said it is ready to receive Dangote trucks at its various stations. Officials at the Dangote refinery said the direct distribution will begin as part of activities marking 1 year since the refinery started petrol production. Initially scheduled to commence August 15, the scheme was delayed due to logistics problems in China. 4,000 compressed natural gas trucks were ordered from China to be delivered in Lagos for Dangote's direct fuel distribution. With youth unemployment and underemployment rates remaining high in Nigeria, more young people are turning to entrepreneurship as a viable alternative to traditional employment. However, is entrepreneurship truly a better option than a 9-to-5 job for Nigerian youth? This report critically examines the opportunities and challenges of both pathways, entrepreneurship and salaried employment, and evaluates which might serve Nigerian youths better in today's socio-economic climate. Here is Sadia Yakubu's report.
Nigeria has one of the youngest populations in the world, with over 60% under the age of 25. Despite this demographic advantage, the formal job market has failed to absorb the rapidly growing number of graduates and skilled youths. This has sparked a nationwide shift towards entrepreneurship, ranging from small-scale businesses and freelancing to tech startups and agri-business ventures. But while being your own boss sounds appealing, the reality is often far more complex.
For the youth now, for the thing I see for this era of this regime, is business is far better than the government work, because the government work now is nothing right to the home. That's it.
Entrepreneurship offers the freedom to choose one's schedule, business direction, and work environment. For many, it means escaping the rigidity of the 9-to-5 system. Unlike salaried jobs with fixed incomes, successful entrepreneurs can scale their businesses and earn significantly more over time. This is a potential to build generational wealth and key attraction.
If you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, government can't satisfy everybody. And even our so-called rich men that God has blessed, they are not even equally open companies in Nigeria. So that means that there is scarcity of job in Nigeria. Should we endeavor to enter one entrepreneur business or any option, because there's no job, government can't employ everybody. So entrepreneur is highly better than white-collar job. So what government need to do is to support the youth.
The rise of digital platforms like Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp Business, and other platforms has made it easier than ever for young Nigerians to start businesses and manage the businesses with little capital.
It's not a straight answer, because entrepreneurship is good. White-collar jobs are also good, because at the end of the day, people have to do both. If everybody faces entrepreneurship, who now does the white-collar jobs? Who now does the civil servant job? So both of them are all good. It just depends on the individual.
Many entry-level jobs in Nigeria pay below the living wage, especially in small companies or government roles. In some cases, career progression is slow, political, or dependent on who you know rather than merit. A growing number of Nigerian youth are adopting a side hustle culture, working 9-to-5 while building businesses on the side. This reduces risk while allowing income diversification.
Entrepreneurship holds great promise for Nigerian youth, particularly in a country where jobs are scarce and innovation is vital. However, it is not a guaranteed path to success. Likewise, while 9-to-5 job offers structure and stability, they can be limiting in terms of income and growth. Sadia Yakubu, Global Television.
Entrepreneurship or a salaried job, the options are right in front of you. Thank you so very much, Sadia. China and the United States have resumed trade talks in Madrid, seeking to narrow differences on trade and technology that have strained relations between the world's two largest economies. They restarted Spain's foreign ministry a day after delegations led by United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng opened their latest round of discussions. On the foreign scene, World Health Organization, WHO, has begun vaccinating frontline health workers and contacts of infected individuals in response to a new Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo Kasai province. The health ministry in Kinshasa said the outbreak, declared in early September in the country's first 3 years. The virus, which thrives in the country's dense tropical forest, has so far resulted in 32 suspected cases, 20 confirmed deaths, and 16 others. And now from London, where tensions erupted during a large protest. The gathering led to clashes between protesters and police, as well as counter-protests from community groups advocating for tolerance and inclusion. Our international correspondent, Edika Michael, has more.
And the London street turned into a stage for Britain's anxieties on Saturday as far-right activist Tommy Robinson drew a crowd, thousands of figures. Now, the police has actually confirmed that over 110,000 marchers came to London, some by train and coach, for what was called a festival of free speech. But speeches during the event had spread some racist conspiracy theories and anti-Muslim comments across that protest. At the United Kingdom march, participants carried St. George flags and the Union Jack and chanted, "We want our country back." Now, recently, flags have become more common across the United Kingdom in recent months, with some viewing them as national pride and as a sign of a growing nationalism. But however, there was a mix of rival protests against the fascism organized by Stand Up to Racism attracted a 5,000 crowd as well. Now, these counter-protesters carried differently signs that read "Refugees welcome" and smashed the far right while chanting "Stand up and fight back." Now, the police force say that officers were trying to intervene in multiple locations, stopping the protesters trying to access the sterile areas and breach police cordons to opposing groups. These numbers of officers have been assaulted, and the cause of that, there's also confirmed that 26 officers were injured in the clashes and 25 people were arrested. And that rally came amid political debate in the United Kingdom over migrants crossing the English Channel in small boats without authorization. Now, the summer saw several anti-migrant protests outside hotels and seeking asylum. Edika Michael reporting.
Well, thank you so very much, Edika. We trust you to continue to follow this development for us. And that's a full cycle here on the news. Just a reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Follow us across all social media platforms using the handles on your screen, as well as at Global TV NG. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe, saying a big thank you to you for watching, and bye-bye.